I'm Tyler Fiacco, and today I'm going to be giving a little bit of an overview of what's been going on with the car, my new wheels, and that's pretty much it. I'm also going to go ahead and test fit them just for you guys. So lately this thing's just been sitting on the stock daisies, just waiting for my wheels to be built. The fronts are alright. The reason the rear is lifted up is that even how it is now, it's rubbing super hard on the inside because of the camber, and that's why later you'll see I'm going to need to put spacers on my new wheels, which I didn't want to do, but sadly I'm going to have to. But in the end it just makes my wheels stick out even further, so it's whatever. I'd rather not have the spacers, but it's okay. And then some of you guys been asking or complaining, bitching, whatever you want to call it, about the lights. I traded my lights that were on this thing for the other Miata because I'm going to be doing something different with this panel, and I'm going to eventually be making the other taillight exactly like this one anyways. So essentially I'm just going to be using the stock taillight base for my new taillight panel. I'll go ahead and do a video on that as well. That probably won't be for a while. I have some big plans for this thing. It's gonna be way different than it is now, but so, oh yeah, and then I also got this wing at, let's see, I bought this wing for like 70 bucks. It's pretty freaking big. I bought it at the swap meet, and pretty good deal. It's pretty freaking big. It's not like too big or anything. It's also not too small. Obviously, with the way the car is, I can't have too small of a wing. Just won't go with the look of the car. Regarding how I'm going to mount it, I was going to do several different things, and I still don't know what I want to do. I really don't want to do a chassis mount, even though those are cool, because I have no aspirations to ever get a hardtop or have any kind of top at all. I think that having a chassis mount won't look as good. So I'm thinking either doing a mount from here coming up with a duckbill built into it, or maybe I'll do like a swan neck wing. I don't know. I'm gonna try and play around with some stuff. I definitely think the swan neck style is one of the coolest, most unique. Not that many people have done it, and since I'm making the brackets and everything myself, I might as well do something crazy and unique. But it all kind of just depends on what flows with the car the best, especially since I'm not having a hard top. So we can go inside and take a look at my new wheels. So here's my wheels. They were built by a local wheel builder. He does pretty much everyone's wheels in the local San Diego area. I'll go ahead and put his information in the description just in case you guys want to get something done. You could ship them over here if you're not local. But this guy does amazing work. Now, these centers, I didn't have anything done, so they do have some chips. But even though these centers are a little chipped, no one's going to be looking at the centers. Everyone's going to be looking at these lips. And what are the sizes? Well, the fronts are 18 by 12s, and then the rears are 18 by 14s. The fronts have 8-inch lips, and then the rears have 10-inch lips. And that's about an inch bigger than pretty much everyone else. So the reasoning behind them being 18s rather than 17s like I had wanted them to be is that no one makes a big enough barrel, which is what my lip is. So I just have essentially a polished barrel as my lip, and no one makes a big enough barrel for a 17-inch face. So I had to step up to an 18 to get the biggest lip I could, which realistically, even though these things are absolutely massive, and I'm sure you can tell by my hand size. And then for tires, I believe for the rears I'm going to be running 335 30s, and then for the fronts I'm not quite sure yet. All I know is that I don't really want to stretch too much at all. I don't know if I'll be stretching too much with 335s, but I know that people have put 315s on 14J wheels, and it's got a little bit of stretch, but no local tire shop will do that, and I don't really want to go to a specialty shop. I'd rather just pay the extra $20 per tire, just get it done. So pretty much now I'm just going to move all the shit out of the way. I'm sure you'll see as soon as I put this thing down on the ground and attempt to move it back that it like jumps up, and it's pretty bad. I know it's probably bad for, you know, bearings or whatever. You know, you can bitch all you want, whatever. Anyways, I'm gonna back this out and then we can go ahead and test fit the wheels and we'll see how they look. Here's the fun part. Hey, Jason, come on. And then you may be asking why I don't have the spacers on right now with the rear wheel so that they don't rub. And the reason is that the hub-centric bore is too big for the stock wheels, so I'm not able to fit the spacers with the stock wheels. Anyway, so I'm gonna get these on, and then I'm just gonna be test fitting one rear, one front, and I haven't tested the fronts yet, so I don't really know what's going on with that. I don't know if I have to have a spacer or what, if I'm gonna be completely fucked on fitment, but I know that the rear needs to be cut a lot more, mainly just width-wise, and then also I'm gonna need to get new coilovers to be able to go lower. So I'm probably gonna go Raceland. I know what you're thinking, Raceland, but I'm gonna go with the new Raceland. They're white and blue. I don't know what they're called, but they're dampening, adjustable, and they're a little bit pricier compared to their cheaper ones like the Ultimos and whatever the regular ones are. But it's almost a guarantee to slam this thing with any wheel. So pretty much eventually I'm going to get those, and then I will put these coilovers on the red Miata, and that's pretty much what I've been waiting for the red Miata. That's why I haven't lowered or anything, and that's because I always plan to get new suspension for this. You know what that suspension was, you know, it was just, I didn't know, but that's what I'm going to be doing. And also another thing is brake wise, since I have such a large diameter face, I am going to be getting bigger brakes. Now the Brembo big brake kits are about $700 just for the fronts, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the front and rears with brakes from a 01-ish era sport brakes from a Miata, and it's a direct bolt-on. Everything, you just need the brackets, and you just pretty much need the whole brake system, and it's like, I think it's like $400 to do everything, which is not bad at all to get a much bigger diameter brake. And yes, they're heavy, but they're not as heavy as my Steely, surprisingly. And then I also do need to get new lug nuts. These will not fit with the center caps, so that's why I won't be fitting them with them. So as you can see, diameter wise, they are pretty big, but with some super low profile tires, they'll be completely fine. I mean, I have decent amount of space. Even with my other wheels, I was rubbing constantly, so to have, you know, 3 inches of space between the barrel and that is no problem. I'll just cut away more of that. The only issue is that if you look at this, is how high I'm going to be sitting. I mean, that's like 3 inches, and so I'm definitely gonna have to go lower. And then I don't know if you can see inside here, but there is probably about 1.5 inches between the barrel and the inside of the car, and that's with 2-inch spacers. And then the brakes, I know you can't really see too well, but the brakes just look tiny inside there. I mean, there's at least like a 2-inch gap, or 3-inch gap actually, all the way around. So bigger brakes will definitely make it look better. And I went with a staggered setup just because before, with the square setup, the fronts just stuck out way too wide for me. So like it was just, it almost seemed as if the front stuck out wider than the rears, and I didn't like that at all. This is the first time I'm seeing the front on there, and plenty of clearance between the coilover and this. I definitely couldn't fit bags, that's for sure. But no, and then, you know, about the same height off the ground, which is to be expected, obviously same diameter wheel, and I have the same inch barrel, or I should say lip, but same barrel. So I will be the same distance off the ground as I was before. So definitely need to go lower. I mean, this is like 4 inches here. But anyways, looks like I'll have plenty of room for at least trying to turn. And this gives you kind of a representation. So see how this is a little bit smaller looking than my other wheels, but then the rears stick out way more. Man, does it just look crazy though. Anyways guys, I'll be sure to keep you updated on anything that I'm doing. I have been lacking on the videos, I know. I hope to get several out this week, at least as much as I can. And then, especially since I'm off all of next week, I will certainly have enough time. And then maybe later tonight, I might be welding my diff. I'm not sure, but all I know is I have absolutely no experience with welding a diff. I'm absolute garbage at welding. And we'll see how it holds up, especially on a 1.6 diff. So anyways, peace out guys. See you in the next video.